So let's start with the first step, that how to install Linux operating system. So if you wanted to go with CentOS, you can do that. If you wanted to go with Oracle Linux 7, you can also do that. So the first thing, we need to download Oracle Linux 7. So in order to download Oracle Linux 7, what we need to do, navigate to the URL edelivery.oracle.com. Navigate to the URL edelivery.oracle.com. If you don't have any account with Oracle, simply click here to new user register here, okay, and sign up with your Gmail address and you will get the access to this particular portal, okay. Always use your own personal ID to log in over here. So let me quickly log in. So I'm just going to log into this edelivery.oracle.com. Once you log in, you will see this particular screen, okay. So I wanted to download Oracle Linux 7, okay. So let me search for Oracle Linux 7. Search it from this list. You will see n number of options over here. Oracle Linux 7.9, 7.8, 7.7, but I wanted to install 7 only, okay. So I can see over here Oracle Linux 7. Simply click on this. You can see added to download queue. Click on this view item. You can see Oracle Linux 7 has been added to your cart. Simply click on continue. So we are planning to download 64-bit operating system. Select the version or platform as 64-bit. Okay. Click on continue. Accept the agreement. Since it is for personal use, there is no issue with downloading the stuffs. Now here you will see 4 different files are there. Okay, we don't require all these 4 files. We only have to download the first one, that is v46135-01.iso. The remaining 3 are not required for us. So simply select or uncheck all, select only one of them and click on download. The moment you click on download, application is going to download it to your system. Okay, simply run that application. That is from Oracle, so no need to worry about any virus and all. Okay, so simply open it. The moment you open it, it will ask you that, okay, where do you want to download the file, in which location? You can mention the location. I have mentioned it to my downloads folder. Click on next and you will see that it will start downloading the file for you. It will start downloading the file for you. Okay, so I have already downloaded it, Oracle Linux 7. So I will simply cancel this. So this is how you are going to download the Oracle Linux 7. Now, definitely at this moment of time, if you see, I am running on a Windows machine. Okay, my host system is Windows machine. I need a virtualization software where I can install this Linux operating system. So the best way to do that, install Oracle Virtualbox. If you are having a Mac operating system, you can also find this Oracle Virtualbox software for Mac absolutely free of cost. Okay, so the next software which we are going to install is Virtualbox. So for Virtualbox, simply open the URL virtualbox.org. Open the URL virtualbox.org. The latest version is 6.1, but I would recommend you to download a older version which is much more stable. Okay, so once you come to over here, click on download, click on the downloads option. Here, scroll down and you will see an option of VirtualBox older builds. Open that, VirtualBox older builds. You can see 5.2 is still having active maintenance, okay, and 5.2, believe me, it's very good and very stable. Click on this VirtualBox 5.2. You will come to this particular page. Now, if you are having a Linux operating system or if you are having a Mac operating system, If you are having running in the Mac operating system, let's say, simply download OS X files. If you are running with Linux host, download the Linux host files. For 90% of the people, I assume that you are running on a Windows machine, so click on this Windows host. Okay, click on this and it will start downloading the software for you. Now installing of this software is very easy. Simply double click and next, 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 next. No need to do anything. Just accept the default options. The moment you install this VirtualBox, you will see basically this kind of icon is going to be created in your start menu for VirtualBox. Okay, this is how it is going to look like. So I have installed I have basically created multiple virtual machines. That's why you are seeing all these things over here. So here we are going to install the Linux operating system. So before we start the installation part, let's download all the other software. So far we have downloaded the Linux operating system. The next file which is required is basically, if I go to the list, we require the database. Okay, so the database part, we require a simple RPM file. So in order to download MySQL database, what you require, go to or in Google search for MySQL download. Open MySQL website. Go to downloads. Okay, once you come to downloads, you will see various options are there. Okay, come to this option, MySQL Community GPL download. MySQL Community GPL download. So this is for the open source. Click on that. Now here you will see n number of options are there. If you want to install it in a Windows operating system, download the MySQL installer for Windows. For Linux, download this file, MySQL yum repository. Click on that. MySQL yum repository. Click on that. Now, when you come to this particular page, we are going to download, since we are going to install Oracle Linux 7 or Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, download this particular RPM file, which is for Linux 7. Don't go for 8, go for 7, because the base operating system that we are going to set up is Linux 7. Simply hit on this download button and the file is going to be downloaded for you. Okay. You'll come to this page. They will ask you to log in or sign up. Simply say no thanks, just start my download. No need to do anything over here. The moment you say, a 5 KB or 10 KB file is going to be downloaded for you. Okay, the file has been downloaded for me. So far we have downloaded your Linux operating system. We have downloaded this MySQL community version as well. The next thing which is required over here is JDK. Simply in the net search for JDK. Search for JDK download. Okay. Go to Oracle website. Okay. No need to download the version 15 or 11. Download the version 8. Okay. Java Server Edition 8. Click on this JDK download under the section Java Server Edition 8. Download it. Once you come to this particular page, you will see various platform-based files are mentioned over here. Okay. You can, if you are running on a Mac OS, download the Mac OS. If you are running on Windows basis, 64-bit, download Windows Windows file. If you are planning to install it in a Linux, what I am doing, simply download this version, Linux 64-bit compressed archive. Download this. Okay. The extension will be ending with tar.gj. Okay, download it. The moment you download it, it will again ask you to sign in. Use the same username and password which you have utilized over there while accessing the e-delivery website. Okay, since I logged in one time, maybe it will automatically start the download for me. Let me click on this one. You can see it automatically starts the download for me. Okay, so we are basically downloading the JDK as well. The next thing we would require is having a application server. So we are going to utilize this Tomcat application server. So for installing the Tomcat, simply search for Tomcat. Search for Tomcat download and go to Apache tomcat.apache.org. The latest version of Tomcat is Tomcat 10, but that is in the alpha edition, not even in beta. Okay, go for Tomcat 9 because Tomcat 9 is the stable version. Okay, go for Tomcat 9. Scroll down under the version 9.039, download the zip file under the core option. From the core option, download the zip file. So this will basically download your Tomcat in your machine. So we downloaded Tomcat, we downloaded JDK, we downloaded MySQL. We have downloaded Virtualbox, and we have also downloaded the Linux file. The next thing that we require over here, we need to install the Linux operating system. So for installing the Linux operating system, it's pretty much straightforward. What we need to do, open the Virtualbox. Okay, open the Virtualbox. Now let's say if you see my configuration over here, I have two different drives attached to my laptop. One is C and one is D. C drive is currently having a space of 306 GB free, and D drive is currently having a space of 289 GB free. You might have some other drives as well. Okay, so wherever you wanted to install your Linux file, you need to make sure one thing: wherever you are going to create the virtual machine, that particular drive must be always attached. Okay, let's say for me, I wanted to install it in the C drive itself. Now for a couple of you folks, maybe a issue with C drive, you wanted to install it in some other drive because C doesn't have that much space. So for that part, what you need to do, come open this virtual machine, click on this machine and go to settings option. The moment you come to settings option, let me just do one thing. Go to machine, file, preferences. You need to go to file, preferences. Here you will see the default machine folder is this location. C user, for me it's in the document VirtualBox machine. For you it is in the similar kind of location only. Okay, if you wanted to install it in a different location, make sure that you are changing this location to a different location. Okay, where you want to save all your virtual machines. So this is one of the important point which you need to remember. Once you change this location, depending upon your requirement, you need to set up this location. The next thing, we are good to go ahead with creating a virtual machine. Click on new, give the name of the virtual machine. Let's say I'm giving OEL, okay, batch 7. Okay, I'm just giving this name. You need to make sure that the type should be Linux and the version should be Oracle 64-bit. Okay, and you will be able to see 32 and 64, both the options are available over here. Now let's say couple of folks, if you are getting or if you are seeing only 32-bit operating system or version is listed over here, then you need to do one thing in your machine. From the BIOS setting, okay, from the BIOS setting, you need to enable virtualization support. Okay, you need to enable the virtualization, but by default for most of the new laptops which are purchased after 2018 onwards, they have by default the hardware virtualization enabled. Okay, and the moment if you are facing any issue, if you are, let's say, not able to see 32, if you are not able to see 64-bit, don't install. Okay, ask me that what should be the step to correct it. Okay, I will help you with that. Now the next thing, memory size. Since we are going for the small footprint, I'm going to allocate 4 GB of RAM, or let's say 3 GB of RAM to my virtual machine. I'm going to allocate 3 GB of RAM. So the type should be Linux and version should be Oracle 64-bit. Name whatever name you wanted to give, it's up to you. Okay, click on this create button. Now it will ask you at which location you wanted to save the stuffs. So I'm going to mention the location over here, that I'm going to install it in my C drive users username documents virtual machine OEL7. So I'm going to install the things over here. Then what should be the file size? How much a disk you wanted to have in your machine? I would suggest you go for 60 GB. Go for 60 GB. Okay. So the 60 GB would be space over here, the file location, and click on this create option. The moment you click on create, you will be able to see Oracle Enterprise Linux Bash 7 has been listed over here in this list. Now we require to attach internet. We require to attach internet connection to my virtual machine. Now how to do that? For doing that, what we require, we need to attach two different adapters. Okay. One adapter will be of type NAT. The second adapter will be of type host only adapter. Why two different adapters? We'll discuss in details. The first adapter which we are going to attach to our virtual machine will be NAT. NAT is basically utilized to help you to share the internet connection. For me, my host machine, that is Windows machine, is currently having a internet enabled. So I wanted to share my internet connection to my virtual machine as well. So for that you would require this NAT adapter. Now let's say from your Windows machine, you wanted to access your virtual machine stuffs. Let's say I wanted to access the Sailpoint instance from my Windows system only. On that moment of time, you would require a local address that can be only possible if you attach a host only adapter as well. Okay, you have to attach a host only adapter. So these two adapters you need to remember. How to do that? Select the machine, go to settings option. Select the machine, go to settings option. Go to network tab. In the network tab, you can see by default network adapter is enabled. By default, your NAT is enabled. Okay. Go to adapter 2, enable this network and select host only adapter from this list. Okay. And then here you need to attach a Ethernet from here. For me, n number of things are displaying. For you, it will be only one Virtualbox host only Ethernet adapter. If you are setting up the Virtualbox for the first time. Now let's say if you wanted to create a new interface at this moment of time, what you have to do, click on file, go to host network manager, open that. You can see at this moment of time, these many Ethernet cable have been created for me. I wanted to create one more for this batch. So I will hit create, click on yes, and it will create a Ethernet cable for me. The name is Ethernet 18. The name is Ethernet adapter 18. Now here you need to do couple of changes. You need to basically configure couple of changes over here. The first and foremost thing, go to DHCP, enable the server address, keep it as 100, lower bound 101. So what I have done, server address, keep it as whatever the address is generated, just edit the last digit from 2 to 100 and the lower bound address last digit after dot, I have marked it as 101 and click on apply. So what I have done, I have basically, let me just explain it. I have basically enabled a dynamic host control protocol. What is DHCP server? Let's say this particular Ethernet is being distributed to n different machines. So whatever the number of machines you are attaching to the same LAN, it will basically assign a new IP address to all the systems which are attached to this particular machine. And the IP address range will start from 192.168.240.101 will be the first machine if you are attaching. If you are attaching the second machine, it will be 102. And all these machines are communicating via the address 100. Okay. So this is the main intention of doing this change. Now, once you change this configuration, we have seen, okay, we have created VirtualBox host only adapter 18. Now I need to attach it to my machine. So I've selected my machine, again went to settings tab. And here in the network section, go to adapter 2 and enable the network. Select the list as host only. And here you will be able to see the newly created one, that is VirtualBox host only adapter 18. I've selected it. Click on this advanced menu and select Prometheus mode as allow all. So why allow all? Because this machine I want to be reachable by all the virtual machines. Okay, because in future we are going to set up AD as well. So I want that the AD machine should be also reachable from this machine. So that's why I've marked the Prometheus mode as allow all, so that this IP address, the local IP address, will be accessible all the machines which are deployed locally. Okay, click on this OK button. So at this moment of time, we discussed about the network part, that we have two adapters. One is enable network, that is the first one is NAT and the second one is host only adapter. The next thing that we are going to do, we are going to attach the Linux operating system over here. Definitely we need to install the Linux as well. So go to your storage section, and here there are two different sections: controller IDE, controller SATA. Okay, these two options are displayed. Controller SATA will have the disk which you have just now created, that is attached. The disk, during the installation, we have allocated 60 GB of disk space. So that is basically controller SATA. Coming to controller IDE, select this empty box, okay, and attach the bootable Linux operating system which we have just now downloaded. Okay, you need to simply click on here and click on choose virtual disk image file, and then go to the location where you have downloaded it and select it over here. Since I have already attached it in past, I'm getting a reference visible over here. Okay, so V46.135-01. So you need to basically click on here and you need to navigate to the folder where the file is existing. Select that file and that's it. Okay. You need to do one more thing, mark it as live CD or DVD. Okay, mark it as live CD or DVD. Once you did this configuration change, you are good to go ahead with the VirtualBox startup. Click on OK. At this moment of time, we are ready to start our virtual machine. Click on Start. The moment you start up, you will be able to see it will automatically ask you to install Linux. You can see, click here, okay? And now you can use up and down arrow key to see the options. So the first option is install Oracle Linux 7. Second option is test this media and install Oracle Linux 7. And the third option is troubleshooting. So we want to install it, select the first option and hit enter. One thing you need to notice, if you right now observe your keyboard, there are two control keys. One is in the left side, one is in the right side. Okay. The moment you click over here, your mouse cursor will not come out of this window. Your mouse cursor, because if you are not familiar with the VirtualBox, I'm just giving a heads up that if you are not familiar with the VirtualBox, the moment you click inside this red area, your mouse cursor will be invisible and you cannot come out from there. In order to come out from there to your main machine, you need to hit the right control key 1. You need to press the right control key. The moment you hit, you can see the cursor is visible. Now I can come or go anywhere, wherever I wanted to go. Okay, so this is one thing which you need to remember, right control key. In the keyboard, we have two control key, left and right. You need to press the right control key. Now let me select the option from here, install Oracle Linux 7 and hit enter. So the Linux installer will open up and it will basically ask us for a couple of details. Now here from this list, English, English, and click on continue. Now go to the option of software selection, hit it and select the option server with a GUI because we need a graphical user interface. Okay, select the server with GUI option and click done. So it's checking whether this option, whether all the files are there in the installation media or not. So everything is fine. Now go to installation destination. And here in this page, simply click on this, I will configure the partitioning. Select the option, I will configure the partitioning and click on done. Now here, when you come to this page, click here to create them automatically. Now you can see the system has created 4 different mount point for me. One is root, one is home, one is boot. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to allocate my swap memory to at least 6 GB. Okay. And I will reduce the 6 GB from here. Okay. Because we don't require home mount point to be of 18 GB, we only require 5 or 10 GB, not more than that. So I will allocate only 10 GB to my slash home, not more than that. So let me modify this capacity. So instead of doing 18, I will do it 10. I'll keep it 10 and click on this update setting. The moment you click on update setting, you will see now you have 8 GB of available space. So remaining out of 8 GB, I will allocate 3 GB to swap. So I will make it 6 GB. Click on update settings. You can see remaining available space is 5 GB. I will allocate this 5 GB to my slash partition, that is the root partition. So 5 plus 38 becomes 43. So I will update this to 43. Click on update settings. So I have mentioned the space in different partitions. Root partition is having the most space, 43 GB, 10 GB for my home and 6 GB for my swap memory. Click on done. Click on accept changes. Now click on begin installation. Now the moment you click on begin installation, the installation will start. Okay. We need to set up the root password. Let me set up a root password. Again, I'm going to tell you one thing. Whatever password which you are going to set up over here, use the same password everywhere. Okay. Everywhere during this entire lab. Okay. Don't use multiple passwords at multiple places. Okay. So stick to one password and use the same password everywhere during the training. Okay. So that you remember that stuff. Click on done. Let me create a user. I'm going to give the username as identity classes. You can give any username and you need to make sure one thing over here, make this user as administrator. Keep this option. Okay, keep this checkbox, make this user administrator. Now set up a password over here for that user. I will again utilize the same password which I have just now set for root user. Click on done, done. So for the root password, I have used the same password. For the user creation identity classes, I have used the same password. Now it will take couple of minutes to finish the installation. Okay, now let me quickly reboot this machine. You can see I'm seeing option of reboot. Let me quickly reboot over here. Now you will see three options. Go with the by default options, which is selected over here, Oracle Linux 7 with unbreakable security. Let me accept the license information. Click on done. Click on finish configuration. Now I don't want to enable KDUM, so I will unselect it. Click on forward. Yes. I don't want to register at this time. Select the option no, I prefer to register later at time. Click on forward. No thanks, I will connect it later. Forward. Click on OK. The system will reboot and you are now having a running Linux operating system. So the Linux operating system installation has been successfully done. Now you see I am seeing the username. Let me click on this particular username. Let me give the password which I have set during the installation. And the installation is successful. Click on next, next, start using Oracle Linux 7 server. So now we have successfully installed our Linux operating system.